do in the summer is make a big, fat, juicy cheeseburger. Now, I don't have a grill, but to tell you the truth, I actually prefer them this way, on the stovetop in a cast iron pan. So what we're actually gonna do today, which is something I've never tried before, is to make our own burger buns. Seems like it would be something that would take a lot of time, right? We're gonna do it in about 40-45 minutes, top to bottom, and we're gonna try to get all of our burger stuff in between. So, what we're gonna start off with is the yeast. 2 tablespoons of yeast, sitting in this bowl right here. Now I have a stand mixer, so I have a dough hook, and that means I don't have to do all that kneading by hand, but you definitely can if you don't have one, so it's all good. All right, so what's next? Water. We have to dissolve our yeast in warm water. That means like 110 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. What I usually do is just take it straight from the sink. Get the water nice and hot, do your thermometer. If it's not exact, just pop it in the microwave for a few seconds. In it goes. Okay, so after that's dissolved, we're gonna do a little bit of butter and a little bit of sugar. This is a 1/4 cup of butter, which is like a half a stick, and I just melted it right in the microwave. And it goes. 3 tablespoons of just regular granulated sugar. So there's a few times throughout this recipe for the buns that we have a few minutes to kill, right? Always a good idea to set a timer. Good idea now also to have your meat out so it's getting a little bit closer to room temperature rather than cold in the fridge. What I'm actually gonna do is start prepping my toppings for the burgers. Red onion, use whatever onion you have, use whatever onion you want. I like the red onion. Okay, there goes our timer. Now we're just gonna need some salt. I like kosher salt. And 1 egg that's lightly beaten. We're just gonna drop them right in. Teaspoon of salt. And I just take my fork, mix that in. And now I got the flour. So I'm actually using white whole wheat flour, but you can use whatever you want. The reason why these are so fast is that we're using a lot of yeast, more than you would usually use in a typical recipe. So we don't need as long of a rise time. So this is what I was saying about the mixer before. If you don't have one, you can just put this right onto a lightly floured surface and knead it by hand. But I have a mixer, so we're gonna do the easy way. Dough hook is on. Let's see. Big, beautiful ball of dough. What we're gonna do is divide it into 12 little pieces. So I'm gonna start by dividing it into 3. It's fun to just play with. It's kind of like Play-Doh. Divide each of the 3 again into 2. And then each of those again into 2. And then just into a little ball. When you put them on the sheet, you just want to leave a few inches in between each one. Clean kitchen towel, plastic wrap, whatever you got, bring it on. So we're going to give them 10 minutes. If you have more time than that, let's say you're preparing something else, for us, we're slicing up this gorgeous tomato and getting started on our burgers. So just let them rest however long that all takes, because the longer you let it rest, the better flavor you're gonna get. But 10 minutes minimum. So I'm gonna start the stove now. This way we can get our pan nice and hot. I like cast iron. You could definitely go another way if you wanted to. A grill pan definitely works. But cast iron's the king for burgers. Now the most important thing that you could ever do to a tomato is to season it. Alright, so we got one last step in terms of the toppings for the burgers. And our dough is still rising. You see how perfectly this is all working out? So we're making an aioli, which is something that I love. I make it for pretty much anything. You can make it with tons of ingredients. I like to use fresh herbs, but right now I'm gonna go straight up garlic and Dijon. I'm addicted to Dijon mustard, but I actually bought an extra special kind today because it was on sale. Caramelized onion mustard. Caramelized onion and burgers is a great combination. Now I'm making half of the recipe, but pretty much the standard way that I always make an aioli is 1 cup of mayo. You can use whatever mayo you like. I usually do some type of a light mayo, the one made with olive oil, whatever you want. A juice of 1 lemon, and then like a tablespoon of minced garlic. From there, you need to obviously season it to taste with salt. You could throw in some pepper if you want. Really, you can get creative. You can blend in some fresh herbs, whatever it is, but that's my garlic aioli formula. I like to use my garlic press. And it goes. Let me just tell you something about garlic. I buy the garlic that comes in this container and I just keep it in my freezer right like this. It never goes bad. There's our timer, it says it's been 10 minutes. Pop it in the fridge until we're ready for it. Now all of our toppings are done. Let's check out our buns. So you can see they expanded a little bit. So all we're gonna do now is brush them with a little egg wash, which is just 1 egg beaten up with about a tablespoon splash of water. So I'm just gonna brush this egg wash onto these buns so that they turn a nice, beautiful golden color. Now at this point, if you wanted to get a little fancy and sprinkle on some sesame seeds or poppy seeds, just pop them right on after this egg wash. Into the oven for 100 degrees, about 10 to 12 minutes, until they're a lovely golden brown. I'm just gonna rotate these halfway through. And now to get into the heart of the matter, which is the ground beef. This is not a day for lean beef. You gotta get some fat, that's the first step. This is a ground chuck, 80-20. That's 80% lean and 20% fat. Nice and freshly ground for us. This is my biggest secret and key to making a burger. You can't mix anything into the burger itself. Because if you do that, you really have to like mix the meat up, and you don't want to do that. You want to be so gentle with these. You want to literally only put as much pressure as it takes to turn it into a patty. I promise you, you're still gonna get flavor. Because wait until you see the crazy amount of salt I'm gonna put onto this. You can make them as big as you want. I figure about a pound will get you like 3 burgers. But you could do a half-pound burger, quarter-pound burger. So I made mine a little bit bigger today. I had about 2 pounds and I made 5. Now, the most important thing, the salt. You're literally gonna make it rain. It's just like the steaks. You guys saw the steak video, right? I mean, cover it. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna create the most gorgeous crust. And you're not having any salt inside, so don't be worried that this is too much. Just trust me. Then we're also gonna give them a little bit of black pepper. The buns are starting to smell really good. Next key ingredient for this recipe, a very, very, very hot pan. It's cast iron. For me, my stove's been on medium and that's been plenty. Just gonna add a little bit of oil, whatever oil you want, it doesn't matter. Listen to that beautiful sound. Might want to get your fan going because it is going to smoke up a little bit. We're just going to cook them about 2 or 3 minutes on each side. We're not going to touch them. Never ever. If you do this, I swear to God, I will come find you. I never want to see you take this and go like this. No, no, no. That's the worst thing you can do. You want to get all of those juices, you want them to stay in the burger. And when you start pressing on it, you're letting them go. Bad idea. Don't do it. Look at these beauteous buns. Flip them, you want to get the cheese on there. This way it'll be nice and melted. You're going to cook is really going to depend on A, how hot your stove gets, as well as the size of the burger. So since we made our burgers pretty big today, we're looking at like 3 to 5 minutes per side. Probably closer on the 3 to us because we like our burgers medium rare. Just go ahead and turn the heat off, but keep the pan on the heat, it'll stay hot. And toast those buns. And all of that delicious burger cooking glory. All right, buns are toasted, babies. And now for the moment of truth. We have all of our gorgeous toppings. Little arugula, whatever lettuce you like. You want regular lettuce? Go ahead. Watercress? Do it. These are hot, so be careful. They're little, so maybe when you make the recipe, you might want to just divide it into 10 burgers if you want a bigger bun, or 8 if you want a really big bun. So right onto the bottom, spoonful of this. Again, mine's a little runny because I use the veganese, but yours shouldn't be if you use any other type of mayonnaise. A little tomato, or a big tomato. I'm gonna put the tomato below the burger, then the burger, and a few onions. If we can close this, then that means we're very talented people. Does it look like a work of art or what? What do you guys think? Look at that! Now, it wouldn't be a glorious summer burger without a beer. You need to have a beer with this. We're not on a diet, clearly, if you saw this burger. I found this peach beer today when I was at the market. And what I've also got, because you know, there's nothing worse for me than drinking a beer and having it get warm, which happens a lot because I don't drink it that fast. So since this beer has peach in it, I got some frozen peaches and I'm gonna use that inside just to keep it cool. Brilliant, right? Pop a few of these peach slices right in. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have a burger to eat.